Padam Sevana Lalita Shivsha Kanvitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Shundyavadi Bhasha Deveshari Namo Mahavidanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishena He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwamsute Devi Pranamami Vacha Vasya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So we'll discuss about this topic. So I was thinking about this topic as Sukdev Goswami, when Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukdev Goswami about how he can perfect his life, and he has only 7 days remaining. So Parikshit Maharaj asks a question that what is the duty of a person? What he should read, what he should hear, what he should remember, like that. What is the duty when he lives and how he should lead his life? Both things. So Sukdev Goswami, while he is mentioning the answer, Sukdev Goswami mentions that actually what is the duty of all the people while living, while dying, or in between, like that. Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishwaro Hari Martavyam. So he says, Tasmat, therefore, at all times, for all living entities, Smartavyam, Shrotavyam, they should hear about the Supreme Lord, they should remember the Supreme Lord, they should worship the Kirtitavyasya. Shrotavya, Smartavya, Kirtitavyasya. They should glorify the Supreme Lord, they should hear about the Supreme Lord, they should remember the Supreme Lord. This is the duty. That's it. So, at all time, this has to be done. So, when he tells like this, so Parikshit Maharaj becomes little morose. Why? Because he thinks that Vedas are unlimited. So much is given in the Vedas. And how much time it will take to read, to understand, to meditate upon that. And I have so short time now. I am about to die. Like that. So that time, Sukdev Goswami understands the mentality of Parikshit Maharaj, that he is feeling sorrow, that he has only 7 days. So Sukdev Goswami says, Kim pramattasya bahubhi paroksherhayane riha. He says, what is the use of long life which is spent in forgetfulness? What is the use of long life which is spent in forgetfulness? Varam muhurtam viditam. Better to have one moment which is spent in remembrance of Krishna. Like that. So from this verse of Sukdev Goswami, I had thought about this topic. Living a quality life. Like that. Because we are living in a modern day civilization, and this modern day civilization, everybody is busy. And they are so busy, but they are working so hard and they are busy, but they are not satisfied. Somewhere something is missing in their life. So in Kali Yuga, if you see the Shastras, already the qualifications of Kali Yuga are mentioned. Huh? So I will read one verse. It is first canto, fourth chapter. This is the verse number 17 and 18. भौतिकानां च भावानां शक्तिरासं च तत्कृतम् आशद्ददानानि सत्त्वान् दुर्मेधान् रसितायुषा दुर्भागांश्च नान्वीक्षा मुनिर्दिव्येन चक्षुषा सर्ववर्णाश्रमाणां यद्दयो हितम् अमोघदृक्. So this verse and one more verse. Two verses are given in first canto, one in first chapter, one in fourth chapter. They are telling about the qualifications of Kali Yuga people. Bhautika naam se bhava. All people are, they are materialist. Durmedhan, their intelligence is not very sharp. Shakti rasam, their strength is, bodily strength is being reduced. Rasit ayusha, their life is also short. Nisattvan, most of them are not in goodness. Like that. These are the qualities told about the people of Kali Yuga. Another very famous verse. प्रायेणल्पायुषा सभ्या कलो अस्मिन् युगे जना मंदा सुमंद मतयो मंद भाग्या उपाद्रता. This verse also talks about the 6 qualities of people of Kali Yuga. Prayen alpayusha. What is the meaning of this word prayen? Prayen means 99%. Almost 99%. Means almost everyone. Prayen in this Kali Yuga, alpayusha. Short life. Like that. The life is short. Alpayusha sabhya. Kalo asmin yuge jana. Mand sumand matyo. Mand, they are lazy. They are unfortunate. They are misguided. So in the age of Kali, the people have very short lives. Prayan alpayusha. Man, they are lazy. Sumand matyo. They are lazy and their intelligence is less. And they are misguided. Mand bhagya, they are unfortunate. Upadrita, they are disturbed. Like that. And with all that, we want to enjoy life. So these are the qualifications told about the Kali Yuga. So if we see, whenever we speak about life and anyone wants to live a life with quality and he wants to enjoy life. So even materially, some things are already fixed. अगर किसी को एंजॉय करना है तो मटेरियल पैरामीटर भी थोड़ा ऑलरेडी फिक्स कर दिए. हाँ, तो क्या क्या पैरामीटर फिक्स किया है? पहले तो टाइम कम है. तो टाइम कम है क्योंकि अल्प आयुषा. अगर टाइम कम है फिर उसके साथ साथ क्या है, चलो उसका अगर किसी का हेल्थ अच्छा हो तो शक्ति रासा है, हेल्थ भी कम है. बॉडीली स्ट्रेंथ आर ऑल्सो रिड्यूस्ड. अभी आप देखेंगे मतलब 1-2 बैग भी कोई उठा के चल रहा है उसको बैक पेन हो जाएगा, स्लिप डिस्क हो जाएगा. पहले लोग कितना कितना सामान लेके चलते थे. अभी 1 किलोमीटर भी चलना है तो वो लोगों का हैबिट नहीं है 1 किलोमीटर चलने का भी. तो बॉडीली स्ट्रेंथ भी रिड्यूस हो गया, टाइम भी रिड्यूस हो गया. उसके बाद भी अगर इंटेलिजेंस अच्छा हो, नहीं वो भी कम है. मंद सुमंद मत्यो, उसका जो इंटेलिजेंस है वो भी कम है. ये और उसके ऊपर लेजी, दे आर लेजी फॉर द गोल ऑफ लाइफ. Materially also they have they have short span of life and their intelligence is not very sharp and their bodily strength is reduced. So by these two verses, a very clear indication which is given in that in Kali Yuga, materially you cannot much add to the quality of your life. You cannot much add. Why? Because even if you have 1,000 crores, 100,000 crores of property, but you will not be there to enjoy the property like that. Another problem is you do not have the body that in short life, in the short span, you can consume that property. That is another problem. Body is also weak that way. पहले गांव वगैरह के लोग रहते थे, कोई 20 चपाती खा रहा है, कोई 25 चपाती खा रहा है. Right? So now, but you find that bodily strength is also reduced. So materially, we find it's very difficult. The Shastras are already putting limitations. And materially, if somebody feels that he can enjoy. Now, if person wants to enjoy materially, what he needs is, he needs health, wealth, and time in general, like that. He needs to have good health, and he needs to have wealth also, because he has health, but if he does not have wealth, and then he needs to have time also. But we find that when he is young, he has health, right? He doesn't have wealth, and generally, he doesn't have much time also. But little time he has, good health he has, and zero wealth he has in general. And then he works very, very hard and he goes to a job. And when he goes to a job and he reaches a middle age, now he's married, he has job. Now what happened? He has wealth, but he doesn't have time. And health is just good becomes okay now. It decreases. Why? Because of morning shift, evening shift. And 8 hours, 10 hours, he's working on chair, he's sitting on chair. And then he reaches a old age, right? So now he has wealth, but he doesn't have health. He has some wealth and he has time, but he doesn't have health. So in no period of time, he has actually all the parameter by which he can enjoy. So in the youth, he spends his health to earn the wealth. And by the time he becomes old, the health is gone. Then he spends the same wealth to regain the health. And then he thinks, I could not enjoy in between, which was the goal of life. So, these three things, when we think about health, wealth, and time, if someone even wants to materially enjoy. So, what kind of health is needed for enjoyment? Not just bodily health. We need a health beyond fitness, not just the material fitness. Because enjoyment has a lot to deal with mind. The mind has to be healthy, right? The mind has to be healthy. It has to be, there should be a good thought process going on in the mind. Mind should be in a very positive situation if someone wants to. Most of the diseases have a mental counterpart, like that. If the mind is not healthy, then one cannot enjoy. And we are working, people are working in the company, there are constant pressure, deadlines they have to meet with. Sangal Gopal says that's why it's deadline, not lifeline. Because when you actually meet it, you become dead by the time you meet the deadline given by the boss. So people are working so hard. The mind is always stressed. It's always in pressure. So if the mind is not healthy, you cannot enjoy that way. Another thing, if you want the health, is you need to have natural products available, which is not available. Is it not? No, the milk is not available, which is the most important food. The pure milk is almost become kind of unavailable. No one can be sure what milk he is drinking, what he is drinking, that way. And we find that the seasonal changes also, now the thing have become, because everything, the businesses have increased. Even what to eat at what season, people don't know. Now, what are the seasonal vegetables, you don't know, because everything is available in market. Previously, only seasonal things were there, and that only people would purchase, and they were good for health. So we don't know how to healthy. We don't know how to keep the body healthy, because healthy ingredients are not available. We don't know how to keep the healthy mind, because the culture is not healthy. That way. Another thing, then the wealth, people are trying to earn the wealth in today's age, because there's a phenomenon that whoever earns more, whoever has more, he will enjoy. But wealth does not give us happiness. Actually, the wealth which is earned properly in a very legal way, which has no contamination, that kind of wealth only can give happiness. So it is kind of almost impossible in Kali Yuga that you are earning and your money is fully pure. So government is exacting taxes, and the way the government might be using in different things. And whatever, wherever you are working in software company, this, there, somewhere or the other, you will find some regulative principles are getting broken in between. Well, agriculture is kind of considered very pure, kind of very pure money, because you are you're plowing, sowing the seeds. But in that also people are using pesticides, and so many living entities are getting killed. So the wealth is tainted with sin. Whatever wealth we are earning, even if we are earning in a good company, what to speak of if we are earning in somewhere where directly it is being used in slaughterhouses or other places. So whatever wealth we are earning in Kali Yuga, it has a taint of a sin, like that. So only when the wealth is pure, it can give happiness. So when it is tainted with sin, we cannot enjoy. So that is another problem. So when you earn such kind of wealth, it leads to anxiety in mind. So that is why we do not have peace. We are earning a lot, but the wealth is not very pure, like that. And we are many of us are also not able to utilize it for Krishna's service. So that kind of wealth gives anxiety. So the wealth also is not there proper, which can give happiness. Then third thing is time, which is actually the biggest wealth. Is the biggest wealth which person should have. But now you find in Kali Yuga, people don't have time. You see the small children. Previous time, you find even if you go 10-15 years back. आजकल आप देखो माता पिता कितने चिंतित रहते हैं, वो फर्स्ट क्लास में है बच्चा, नर्सरी में, केजी में, हाँ, तो उसके एग्जाम है, हाँ, व्हेन वी हैव सम स्पिरिचुअल प्रोग्राम, सम कैंप्स और समथिंग, फर्स्ट क्लास में बच्चा है, उसके एग्जाम में तो पेरेंट्स नहीं आते, वो उसमें ही इतना बिजी है, फर्स्ट क्लास के बच्चे के एजुकेशन में इतना बिजी है. So nobody has time, and there is unnecessary anxiety in the mind. Nobody has time. You sit in auto, any auto you sit, देखो कितना फास्ट हो, कितने लोगों को ओवरटेक करने का बेस्ट प्रयास करता है. वो लगता है मैं कितने राउंड लगा लूं, कितना ज्यादा, हाँ, मनी मैं अर्न कर लूं. He's so much in hurry, like that, and he is driving. So you find this is a kind of situation. So children going to school, they are in hurry. The people going to office, they are in hurry, like that. And the employees, everyone is in hurry, that way. So the health, wealth, and time, the crisis of all three, we face in Kali Yuga. And that is why even materially people do not have a quality life, like that. Because health is required, wealth is required to some degree, and most important is time is required. Because essentially we experience happy, satisfying life through relationships. And relationship means quality time spent together, like that. If the quality time is not spent, then relationship cannot sustain. And relationship means service. Quality time and service. तो क्वालिटी टाइम वो आदमी के पास है ही नहीं, बेचारे के पास. उसके पास टाइम ही नहीं बचा है. तो ऑलरेडी वो 8-9 घंटे का जो काम करता है, जहाँ पे है 8-9 घंटे तो मिनिमम है, ज्यादा ही करता है ये. तो इतना एंजाइटी है, वो एंजाइटी को लेके घर पे आता है ये. सो ही इज फिजिकली देयर बट ही इज मेंटली नॉट देयर, लाइक दैट. एंड सर्विस, तो सर्विस की अपॉर्चुनिटी मॉडर्न सिविलाइजेशन में बहुत कम है, क्योंकि सब कुछ आउटसोर्स हो गया है. पहले घर में लोग कुकिंग करते थे, अभी तो कुकिंग आउटसोर्स हो गया है. आप ऑर्डर करेंगे तो डायरेक्ट आ जाएगा घर पे ही सब कुछ, पिज्जा वगैरह. यू नो, पीपल, वाइफ वुड वॉश क्लोथ, अभी तो वॉशिंग मशीन आ गया. ये तो यू विल सी द फिजिकल सर्विसेज आर आल्सो गॉन, like that. So that is why we are living in a modern age, and in this modern age there is crisis of quality life. Even materially there's a lot of crisis of quality life. So Chetan Chandru has given a long time back, he's given one prerna on Hari Vari Sorry. That was the name of the prerna. So in that, Prabhuji explains that how it is an unfortunate trajectory of everyone's life. So when one is in youth, one is in so much hurry, and one thinks that, I'll move the world, I'll show, everything I'll achieve, like that. Like that, he tries his best in youth. And when he's in middle age, when he gets into job, then hurry turns into worry. Why? Because he tried so much, but everything doesn't turn. He planned so much, but every plan doesn't work. And he realizes so many things are there which is not in my control. How to control it, he is worrying like that. So he understands job is not in my control. The boss is not in my control. When he gets married, he understands wife is not in my control. When he has children, he realizes children are not in my control. Like that. So when he reaches a middle age, if he's doing business, he understands employees are not in my control. So he gets into worry like that. And when he reaches a old age, it's a age of sorry. Why? Because he laments so many things he planned, but it didn't happen. So many plans which became successful, but it did not give the result which he was actually looking for. Like that. So that's how, in general, the life goes of a person. Like that. Only when one comes to Krishna consciousness, only when we come to Krishna consciousness, what happens? One gets clarity. So initially he was in so much hurry because no clear priority, what to focus on and what to leave. Everything we should not do like that. Some things to be done, some things to be left like that. So when we come to Krishna consciousness, one gets that clarity in life, clarifying the priorities, what is important, like that. Otherwise, one tries to satisfy everyone. And in trying to satisfy everyone, he becomes frustrated. And everyone else around him also become frustrated. अब घर वाले बोल रहे हैं बेटा आईएएस की तैयारी कर लेते तो अच्छा रहता। हाँ, और जो कजन ब्रदर है वो बोल रहा है कि सॉफ्टवेयर का मार्केट अच्छा चल रहा है ये। तो और जो दूसरा रिलेटिव है वो बोल रहा है गवर्नमेंट जॉब क्यों नहीं देखते हो। तो fourth person is telling something else. So that's how person becomes confused. But when we come to Krishna consciousness, we get that clarity. What we are supposed to do. Like that. What we are supposed to do, what we are supposed to leave, whom we are supposed to satisfy, what things to be done as duty, what things we should focus on. And when we come to Krishna consciousness, worry also goes away to some degree. Why? Because when we come to Krishna consciousness, we understand this principle. We are not the controller. Like that. So we don't try to unnecessary control, and even if the things goes out of our control, we are not very much frustrated. Rather, we become happy because as we grow in spiritual life, we understand the control is in the hand of the best person. Even if we would have taken control in our life, we could not have done in such a way. Because control is in whose hands? It is in Krishna's hands. Like that. So that is the best thing. So that conviction we get. And in the old age, person is satisfied if he is Krishna conscious. Why? Because even though so many of the plans which he tried did not work, so he lost many material opportunities, but spiritual opportunities are still available. Like that. So that is why the point which I have been mentioning till now is materially it's not easy. If we try to be materially happy, it's not very easy in Kali Yuga. It's not recommended also. And materially, actually, we have been given the worst of the facility and situation. Yeah. Materially, हमको जैसा सॉफ्टवेयर हार्डवेयर दिया है उसमें ही प्रॉब्लम है ऐसा। तो if somebody is gifted with Luna, then how much he can run like that? Even if you give full accelerator, पूरा उसका वो एक्सेलेटर होता है ना लूना का पूरा भी दबा दो आप, तभी भी उसके स्पीड का एक लिमिट है। ऐसे ही हमको जो मटेरियल बॉडी मिला है उसके साथ ही लिमिटेशंस हैं जो शास्त्र में दिए। तो मटेरियल लेवल पे एक लेवल से ज्यादा व्यक्ति को सेटिस्फैक्शन होना बहुत मुश्किल है। लाइक दैट। बट स्पिरिचुअली देयर इज अनलिमिटेड अपॉर्चुनिटीज अवेलेबल। In fact, more opportunity available than previous ages. So Sukadeva Goswami is telling we may have short life, which is already told in Shastra. Kali Yuga means short life. But short life should be meaningful. It should be meaningful life. We should lead a meaningful life. Like that. So if someone is only focusing on leading a quality material life, he will be very, very frustrated. Like that. Because उसके लिए हमको सिस्टम ही नहीं दिया है। पहले उसके लिए सॉफ्टवेयर हार्डवेयर होना चाहिए ना। ये जैसे कोई लूना लेके फरारी का जो रेस होता है ना, कार रेस, लूना लेके कोई कार रेस में पार्टिसिपेट करने लगे, सुना है ना आपने, माइकल शुमाकर का नाम। हाँ, तो लूना लेके वो पहुंच गया उसमें, तो क्या हालत होगी उसकी। और वो सोच रहा है इस बार मेरी थोड़ी प्रैक्टिस गलत हो गई, इस बार थोड़ा लूना का सर्विसिंग नहीं हुआ, इस बार मैंने थोड़ा एक्सीलेटर अच्छे से नहीं दिया। अरे भाई, वो लूना से कभी नहीं जीत सकता है। ऐसी मटेरियल लाइफ। हाँ, तो जो कलयुगा में है वो मटेरियली इतना सारा इम्प्लीकेशंस है, तो वी कैनॉट just cross it beyond a certain limit no matter how much we try. But Shastras are telling spiritually there is no limitation. Kim pramatasya bahubhi. Shukdev Goswami is telling what is the use of long life full of forgetfulness? We should live a life of quality. हाँ, तो ऑलरेडी लाइफ शॉर्ट है, इट शुड नॉट बिकम शॉर्ट एंड यूजलेस। तो लाइफ तो लॉन्ग हो नहीं सकता है, लेकिन इट शुड नॉट बिकम यूजलेस, इट शुड बिकम मीनिंगफुल, लाइक दैट। So Sukdev Goswami is telling this situation to Parikshit Maharaj. You don't worry, you have 7 days. Utilize your 7 days very nicely. 7 days are sufficient. And he gives the example of Khatwang Maharaj. So Khatwang Maharaj, he was one of the king. He went to heaven. And when he went to heaven, he was assisting demigods. So he helped demigods to attain victory. So when the demigods became victorious, they were very happy and they want to offer the wealth of the Swarga, heaven, and many gifts to Khatwang Maharaj. So he said, whatever you want to ask, you tell. You want to stay here, you stay. He asked, tell me how much time is remaining. He said, please tell me how much time is remaining in my life. And they said, one muhurat, huh? Around 48 minutes. That much time is remaining, something like that. One muhurat is remaining. Immediately he came down, focused his consciousness fully on the Supreme Lord and went back to Godhead. So Sukdev Goswami is giving an example of Khatwang Maharaj to Parikshit Maharaj to encourage him that don't worry that you have 7 days. Like that. Khatwang Maharaj perfected his life in one moment. And there Sukdev Goswami says, Varam Muhurtam Viditam. If one moment spent in remembrance of Krishna, that moment is glorious. Then thousands of years spent in forgetfulness. Like that. Thousands of years spent in forgetfulness. उससे अच्छा वो moment अच्छा है. Like that. So we already have short life. Materially we cannot be happy. But we can make this short life meaningful if we practice Krishna consciousness. If we don't practice Krishna consciousness, life will become short and useless. Short and so we should not live such a life. Short and useless life. So Kali Yuga is a age, it's a quarrel, it's an age of quarrel, it's an age of faithlessness. Because we do not have faith on the Supreme Lord. So much unnecessary worry about the material life. And because of so much unnecessary worry, too much exaggerated material arrangements we are making to make life comfortable, but not meaningful. Like that. So that's why you see how people are working in the corporates, how much time they are spending in doing things which they don't like to do. And practically they have no time sometimes to read, to hear, to chant, like that. So they're living like machines. There's no satisfaction in the heart. That way. So this is being suggested in the Shastra. That what? So we may not be able to give up everything immediately, but we should add quality to our life. हाँ. Otherwise it will be like a living dead. जैसे कोई पक्षी है, हाँ, तो कोई बोल रहा है अरे तो पक्षी है तो उड़ नहीं रहा है, दूसरा बोल रहा है अरे तो खा भी नहीं रहा है, तीसरा बोलता है अरे तो अपने पंख भी वो ही इज नॉट फ्लैपिंग हिज विंग्स आल्सो, चौथा बोलता है बोल दो ना भाई कि मर गया है वो। ये सब बोलने का क्या मतलब है, वो बोल दो कि वो खत्म हो गया है। So similarly, if someone is living, he's just eating, sleeping, doing the basic things, huh, which the other species also are doing. So Shastras are telling he's like a living dead. There's no quality in his life, like that. Why? Because one moment of absorption is also not spent in understanding Krishna like that. He is not done. So quality we can add when we understand quality means spiritual element. Quality does not mean material. Quality means spiritual. Because quality comes from Krishna. When we contact Krishna, then the quality comes in life. So, how we are spending our time? Are we spending quality time with Krishna? If we are spending quality time with Krishna, the quality will come in our life. That's how simple it is, in one way. That is why we all can introspect in our life. If we are not able to chant properly, if we are not able to read and hear, then we see how we feel. We have achieved hundreds of things. But if this one thing is not done properly, you will feel a kind of vacuum like that. You will feel something so important is missing like that. Anyone who is trying to chant properly, read or hear properly, he can find it. And if we have not reached this stage, means we are very irregular. Otherwise, anyone who is practicing Krishna consciousness from some time, if he's not able to chant properly, if he's not able to read properly, if he's not able to hear properly, it's like he feels like starving. And from morning to evening, he has attained so many things. He did this, he did that, he ran here, he ran there. We have acquired so many things, but if we don't acquire Krishna, we will feel vacuum. Quality comes when we contact Krishna. That is why in the morning time, it's a time with Krishna. So when we spend quality time with Krishna, then throughout the day when we are doing some other things, we are able to remain okay. Consciousness is okay. There is a satisfaction I could chant my rounds properly. There is a satisfaction I could read the scriptures. And you can see the satisfaction which we get by deeply reading the scriptures, thinking about the meaning of the scriptures, hearing about the Lord, chanting the holy name. That satisfaction cannot be earned with anything of this world. Anyone can understand this like that. So, when in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami is glorifying the question of Parikshit Maharaj. Variyanesha te prashna kritam loka hitam napa. Telling Parikshit Maharaj, what a question you have asked. Loka hitam, it will do welfare for all the people in the world. What a question you have asked. So in that assembly, the munis are sitting. In that assembly, the sages are sitting. Some jnanis are sitting like that. Some impersonalists are also sitting. In that assembly, openly Sukadeva Goswami is telling that what you are asking, it is the best of the questions. And this question can do the best welfare for everyone. Like that. Because answer to these questions will lead to discussion about Krishna. So in this world, everyone wants to add quality in life. Is it not? But they don't know how. Everyone wants to do welfare. So Maharaj says there's so many welfare society. Is it not? And they all claim that we are doing the best welfare. So many social welfare societies. So many names are there. और सब लोग क्लेम करते हैं कि हम ही सबसे बड़ा वेलफेयर कर रहे हैं. जो टेररिस्ट होते हैं ना, they also don't say that we are damaging. They say we want to do good only. We want to do welfare only. Yeah. पर वो वेलफेयर होगा कैसे? हाँ, तो कभी कभी विश्व शांति यज्ञ करते लोग, विश्व शांति यज्ञ. तो लेकिन महाराज बोलते वो यज्ञ खत्म होने के पहले ही कमेटी में झगड़ा हो जाता है. वो यज्ञ के समापन के पहले ही वो जो कमेटी बनी होती है वो यज्ञ करने के लिए, उसमें झगड़ा हो जाता है. तो scriptures are telling lok hitam, what will do welfare when we read and hear about the Lord. Example is given like the fish is outside the water. तो अगर मछली बाहर आ गई, मछली कुछ, the fishes, some fishes have come outside the sea and they are not in water and they are desperately flapping, and some merciful people, कुछ दयालु लोग वहां पे आते हैं, कुछ सोचते हैं कि कैसे भला किया जाए. तो एक व्यक्ति बोलते हैं इसको थोड़ा इंजेक्शन लगा दो. बीमार हो गए शायद, तो उसको इंजेक्शन लगाते थे, तो और उसका तकलीफ बढ़ जाता है। तो दूसरा बोलता है इसको कुछ इसको 56 भोग उसको कुछ खाने के लिए अच्छा खिला, तो और कुछ खिलाने के लिए ट्राई करते हैं, और तकलीफ बढ़ जाता है। कोई बोलता है शायद माइंड डिस्टर्ब है, उसको टीवी दिखाओ। नो मैटर वॉट एवर यू विल डू, यू विल एक्सेजरेट द सफरिंग ऑफ अ फिश. What is the main reason? Because the fish belongs to water. तो जब ये डिस्कशन होगा कि ये यहाँ पे क्यों है, ये क्यों दुखी है फिश, उसका मूल कारण क्या है, इसका स्वरूप है पानी में रहना, तो मूल कारण समझ में आएगा। अब ये चर्चा होगी कि इसको पानी में कैसे ले जा सकते हैं, इससे फिश का भला होने वाला है। इसी तरह से जीव जो है भगवान से विमुख हो गया। सो द सोल विच इज bereft of Krishna, you give him the best of the technology, the best of the comfort, and best of everything. Without Krishna, we only increase the misery. And that is the foundational reason, with all the technological advancement and everything, what is increasing? Misery. Why? Because unless we connect a soul, soul belongs to the spiritual. We are children of Lord. Mame vansho jeev loke jeev bhuta sanatana. So unless we connect over there, it cannot solve the problem. That is why these discussions which are given in the scripture, that we are part and parcel of the Lord, the soul belongs to Lord, and the discussions about the Supreme Lord, how to revive that relations, that is the most important thing. Like that. That is why it is called Pratham Lokahitam Nipa. Because when those discussions are there, then only the jiva can be helped. That is why if you study the scriptures, you will find previously people have health, they have wealth, and they also have time. अगर हमारे को ये तीनों चीज दे दी, तो most of the people in Kali Yuga, they would want to enjoy materially the best possible. इसीलिए हमको कम टाइम दिया। वो मालूम है ये लोग तो सही यूटिलाइजेशन करने नहीं वाले टाइम का। हाँ, तो पहले से ही भगवान ने लिमिट कर दिया है कि भैया तुम लोग थोड़े ही टाइम के लिए रहो। ये अगर देखो, अगर हमारे पास एकदम बेस्ट ऑफ हेल्थ होता, और बेस्ट ऑफ लंबा अच्छा हेल्थ और बहुत सारा वेल्थ और बहुत सारा टाइम, तो हम क्या करते? तो अभी से हमारे माइंड में, आप लोगों के माइंड में बहुत सारे प्लान आने लगा होगा, क्या करते हैं हम लोग। बट इफ यू सी द स्क्रिप्चर्स, previously those who were kings, Yudhishthir Maharaj was ruling the entire planet, Swayambhu Manu was ruling the entire planet, practically all the Raj Rishis, or many of them were ruling, the Bharat Maharaj was ruling the entire planet. So we should see if we want to become successful, we have to see what successful people has done. So these are the successful people which are there in our history. So how they lived their life? They have such a long life. Bharat Maharaj goes to forest after he has ruled for 10,000 crores of years. Like that. Everybody previously, they have such long lives. How they spend their life? If you read that, study that, then we will understand how we can add quality to our life. Swayambhu Manu was ruling for one Manvantar, means 71 Divyugas. One Divyuga is Satyug Dwapar Treta Kalyug combined. That is one Divyuga. Like that. 71 Yuga cycles. 71 Yuga cycles. So, for such a long period he was there, and maximum period of his life, what he did? He was hearing about the Lord. Maximum time of his life he spent in hearing about the Supreme Lord. So, we also do these things, but we think it has to be done so that the mind remains okay. And the main thing is after that. Is it not? Our understanding, the subtle understanding is what? We are reading, we are hearing, sometimes we are chanting also, or we may attend some spiritual gathering. And we think it is just like a medicine, should not be taken more. And the less we take, the better it is. Medicine के बिना ही ठीक हो जाऊं तो उससे भी अच्छा है. Like that. But if we see the life of these great souls, they have health, they have wealth, they have time. And how they spend their time? They spend their time in remembering Krishna. Time is the most precious commodity, and time belongs to our dearmost personality whom we develop a relation with, Krishna. So it is the most precious commodity of our most close relationship, like that. So how we use time is a very clear indicator of what is the quality of our life and how much we value Krishna. So we are doing these things. We do reading, we do hearing, we do chanting. At least I assume that we are doing these things that way. But the subtle thought in mind is these are supposed to be done with least possible time and with least possible consciousness, and somehow we complete it. But actually, if you see the life of the previous successful people, they did these activities with the best possible consciousness. Like that. So what is missing? The faith is missing. That this can, the faith is missing. As we practice spiritual life, we also have to practice spiritual life with faith. Like that. As it is said, Radhanath Maharaj writes that initially when we come to Krishna consciousness, Krishna gives us a free sample of bliss. But for more, we need to pay the price of sincerity. Like that. जैसे कोई कस्टमर, जैसे कोई सेल्समैन होता है ना, कंपनी होती है, पहले फ्री में बेचती है प्रोडक्ट, उसके बाद वो चार्ज करती है। ड्रग्स भी ऐसे ही सप्लाई किए जाते हैं हर जगह। हाँ, तो इसी तरह we are doing these things, but we need to also have faith. Faith that when I am chanting the holy name, so many places in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, when Krishna speaks about the glories of transcendental knowledge, 4.35 onwards, 35, 36, 37. Once he speaks that, Krishna immediately tells, but those who have faith, they will have it. If they don't have faith, then they will be destroyed. 4th chapter talks about faith, 9th chapter, 16th chapter, 17th chapter. We need to have faith that these spiritual practices are the most important thing and they will actually add to the quality of life. In 9.3, Krishna says, Ashaddadana Purusha Dharmasya Parantapa Aprapya Mamani Vartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Ashaddadana Purusha. Those who do not have faith. Those who do not have faith. So what is their future? Aprapya. They cannot attain Krishna. Mrityu Sansar Vartmani. And they have to come back again to this material world in the age of birth and death. So what we need to have a faith. Then I am chanting the holy name. Holy name is not different from Krishna. It is such an important activity. Otherwise, I will do that activity. But when I don't do with faith, I will put least consciousness, least efforts, least time. Like that. Why? Because only when there is an internal faith in something, then only we invest time. So अगर वो faith नहीं है कि hearing actually is a very important thing to hear about the Lord, to read, then we will not invest time. And even if suppose किसी ने सिस्टम लगा दिया कि भैया इतना पढ़ना ही है, इस टाइम पे जब करना ही है आपको, तो वो क्या है, करेंगे, लेकिन अंदर वो सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं है ना फेथ का, तो किसी तरह करेंगे। जैसे स्कूल में प्रेयर्स करते थे, आपको पता है ना, स्कूल में प्रेयर्स के लिए जाते हैं बच्चे सुबह, ऐसे तो माँ सदगमय, सोचे कब खत्म होगा ये। वो प्लेज करते थे ऐसे हाथ रख के, भारत हमारा देश है क्या, तो प्लेज होता था। ही इज वेटिंग, अरे कब बोलेगा, कब मैं हाथ नीचे करूंगा। ये सो वी विल डू विथ लीस्ट कॉन्शियसनेस एंड वी विल पुट लीस्ट एफर्ट्स, लाइक दैट. So what happens? The price, this is the price we need to pay, like that. Then we can relish. Faith on Lord's assurance. Otherwise, we'll have faith on the worldly insurances. So many insurance. Insurance means person feel that this thing can give me security. Safety covers. Because people are feeling Krishna cannot cover. So these things has to cover. So many insurances one has to go through. like that. But if we start doing, we'll find that if you chant the holy name, we try to chant the holy name properly. If we really try to take out time for reading, for hearing, then it will, when we do it and we do it with faith, you will get a faith how Krishna is managing the entire creation. When Parikshit Maharaj was ruling, there were no CCTV cameras. And he was ruling the entire planet. Now, do you run a small shop also, you have to have CCTV cameras. Like एक एम्प्लॉय है ना आपका, वो ईमानदार रहे उसके लिए 4 कैमरा लगाने पड़ते शॉप में. और परीक्षित महाराज पूरा पृथ्वी पर रूल करते थे. कैसे? Because Parikshit Maharaj was trying to please Krishna. He was ruling according to dharma and he was trying to please Krishna. And Krishna ensured that everything goes on properly everywhere. Because materially there is limit. Even if you put CCTV camera, still there will be thieves, unless the heart is pure. So that is how they were ruling. So when we do spiritual practices and we do it with faith, then the quality gets added in life. Otherwise, millions of rupees cannot give the quality. And that's what Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. There are 2 kinds of people. One is Mahatma, who lives a life of quality. And one is Kripana, who lives a miserly life. Like that. So Mahatma means Yatantasya Drinavrata. He's practicing spiritual life and spiritual principles, and he's putting so much efforts in that. And he's determined. Very beautiful purport Prabhupada has written in that. And Prabhupada mentions that those who are eager to take admission, those who are eager for admission into the spiritual world, they follow this. They put their energy in the spiritual life. Mahatma means he lives a life of quality. He knows where the energy should be focused, like that. Yatantasya Tranurata. He understands where the time has to. So when he does spiritual activities, he does not do it just the minimum. He has time for spiritual activities and he gives quality time. Kripana means what? Kripana means kanjus in Hindi. Miser. So Kripana does not mean that he does not have money. Kripana means he has money but doesn't utilize it. He is a rich beggar. That is Kripana. He is not a poor beggar. He is a rich beggar. He has so much, what he doesn't utilize is. That is called as Kripana. So Shastras say one who has got the wealth of human form of life. This human form of life is considered so rare. And one who has got the wealth of human form of life, but he is so miser. Why? Because he is not utilizing it to add quality to his life. He is not earning the wealth of Krishna, which is the greatest wealth in the world. After getting the human form of life, if someone is not earning the wealth of Krishna and he is earning all other wealth, it's useless. Like that. Because all other wealth, all other things, all the things which you can purchase with wealth, all the things which you can purchase with wealth. And when you purchase those things, they will give you some pleasure which you are thinking, some pleasure it will give. All that pleasure is available in all other species. That's how Krishna has designed it. Actually, Brahmaji just made some changes. It's all same. All the species which we say, same ingredients they have. All are made of same ingredients. Something here and there Brahmaji did. It's like an engineer, na? Engineer with the same bricks, he can make 1 BHK, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, hall, mall, everything he can make with the same bricks. Like that, Brahmaji is engineer. He made so many species, dog, cats, humans, everyone. In the human form of life, one speciality is being injected. There is an intelligence to plan, to look, to strive for the ultimate gain. It's not there. This software is not there in animal species. In all other species, birds can fly, cheetah can run fast, so many things they can do. They cannot think about the ultimate gain. They only think about the immediate gain. Humans can think after 50 years from now, after death, what is going to happen. That is why the scriptures are for humans. When Bharat Maharaj, he was attached to a deer and he got a next body of a deer. Its greatest lamentation of Bharat Maharaj is a deer. As a deer also he was conscious. Very special case because he was in very exalted spiritual stage. He was so much lamenting. He came to Pulaha Ashram. The katha is going on. He cannot understand. He cannot chant the holy name in that. So he was so much lamenting like that. Even though he was in the holy place, in the association of holy people, he cannot, because that software is not there in that body. Like, so human body, Krishna has given that software like that. So we have that opportunity to utilize that human body for that thing. And if we utilize very mysteriously, very beautifully, Krishna will arrange situations. The more faith we put in the spiritual practices, less security we will need from the world. Like that. Because you will be so satisfied, you will not need security of this world. It's just as like that. And how it will happen is very mysterious. No one knows. Like that. So in our life, the practical thing is that we have material duties, also we have spiritual life. We cannot fully give up material life, we cannot give up studies, we cannot give up job, and neither it is expected out of us. What is expected is a balance, a very good, healthy balance. That is expected. Unhealthy balance means you don't have time for spiritual life. It's unhealthy balance. And there's not much need to be spoken about job or other things because anyways we focus on that. And there's no option in that. If you don't focus, boss will ensure you have to focus. If you're working, is it not? So you have to do that. If you're working, if you're a student, we should be responsible in studies, needless to say. But there should be a balance. We should have time for spiritual life. This balance is very much important. Like that. Long time back, Rajbari Prabhu has written one article. It was on the Hrithik Roshan, some movie has come. So on that, I forgot the name of the article. It's a very good article. But in that, what happens? So Hrithik Roshan, you all must be aware, one of the Mahajans. So good biceps, triceps, and when he came on the Bollywood, so very good to look at. So especially his body physique, like that. But external physique was like that, but internally he has a very severe issue he was facing, Hrithik Roshan. He had put so much of emphasis in building the muscles of the upper body. The muscles of the lower body, the hips, the thighs, the knees, they were neglected. Matlab, so much workout he did to build the upper body, this portion, the chest. और ये सब बिल्ड करने में इतना एनर्जी उसने डाल दिया, बॉडी का जो नीचे वाला पार्ट था वो निग्लेक्ट हो गया. And he had slip disc. Like that. So many fans they are thinking, कब हमारा कब ऐसा होगा बॉडी. Many of them might have put the photo. पर वो बंदे के साथ क्या हो रहा है वो लोगों को पता नहीं. वो बेचारा इतना दुखी है. Severe back issue, severe knee issue he was facing. Like that. Severe issue. क्यों? क्योंकि एक पोर्शन पूरा निग्लेक्ट हो गया. उसने उसी पोर्शन पे फोकस किया जो बाहर वाले देखते हैं, जो दिखता है मूवी में. ऐसा है. तो that is how in our life also we need a balance. What is our career? What is the material thing? What we wear? People look at it. But what is inside, if we neglect, then what is this disbalance will create lot of dissatisfaction. और ये लोगों की लाइफ में होता है जब ये इम्बैलेंस हो जाता है. तो बाहर के लोगों को इम्प्रेस करने के चक्कर में वो क्या हो जाता है, इम्बैलेंस हो जाता है. और जो अंदर वाला मेन पार्ट है वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो जाता है. So that is why Mahatma means he has a faith. If I do spiritual things very nicely, then material things will also naturally flourish. Whatever I am supposed to get, I'll get it. Like that. Because Krishna has mysterious ways. कोई भी टाइम जो हम स्पेंड कर रहे हैं रीडिंग में, हियरिंग में, चैंटिंग में, प्रेयर्स में, लॉर्ड की सर्विस में, प्रीचिंग में, ये सब investment है. Krishna is watching. Krishna will award in a very mysterious way. The famous story of one lady. So there was one doctor. His name was Dr. Mark. वो कैंसर स्पेशलिस्ट था, बहुत फेमस कैंसर स्पेशलिस्ट था. तो उसको एक फ्लाइट पकड़नी थी, एक कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड करना था. तब उसने सोचा कि वो कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड करने जाना है, लेकिन उसकी फ्लाइट क्या है, वो कैंसिल हो गई. तो अब किसी ने सजेस्ट किया कि ऐसा करो, आप कार से चले जाओ, लॉन्ग ड्राइव है, 5-6 घंटे का ड्राइव है. लेकिन फिर तो उसने सोचा, ही वांटेड टू अवॉइड, बट ही एनीवेज वेंट. सो ही वेंट बाय कार. द वेदर बिकेम वेरी स्टॉर्मी. तो बहुत एकदम सीजन खराब हो गया, और जब वेदर खराब हो गया, बहुत सिचुएशन ऐसा हो गया, तो नाइट हो गई. तब तक ही बिकेम हंग्री, थर्स्टी. और उसको लगा मुझे कहीं तो देखना पड़ेगा, कहीं कुछ लोग हों, कहीं रहने का ठिकाना मिल जाए. तो समवेयर he went, he was looking for some civilization, some place. So he went nearby, he saw some houses. So he went to one house. So there was one lady there. So he told his situation. The lady said, okay, you come. Lady gave him food to eat, the place to take rest and everything. So, and when he was eating, the evening time approached. So in the night, the lady asked him, would you like to join for prayers? Prayer time, spiritual time, Sandhya Aarti. So the person said, the Dr. Mark said, oh, he was a cancer specialist. He said, I don't believe in God, I believe in hard work. So she said, okay. So lady was offering prayers. There was a child also in one crib. One small child was laying. So lady was offering prayers, and this Dr. Mark was seeing, वो lady एक prayer offer कर रही है, फिर दूसरा prayer offer कर रही है. एक prayer खत्म होता है, दूसरा चालू करती है. मंगल आरती, नरसिंह आरती, तुलसी आरती, एक के बाद दूसरा आरती चालू कर रही है. So he was waiting like that. And finally, when the lady finished the prayers, so he asked the lady, ki, what you are asking for, the God, and what happened to this child. So the lady said, ki, I am praying to the Lord, and my child, this child who was there in that cradle, he is suffering from a very rare cancer. And this cancer, only one cancer specialist is there who can treat it, Dr. Mark. Like that. पर उसका फीस इतना ज्यादा है कि मैं उसको पे नहीं कर सकती. And I am praying from so long, but Lord is not answering my prayers, it seems. But I am not allowing my fear to overcome my faith. Because I know Lord will arrange something. And she don't know that he's talking, she's talking to Dr. Mark only. So Dr. Mark becomes a devotee. Yeah. And then Dr. Mark starts thinking, Krishna arranged so much. How much God arranged? He thought. हाँ, मेरा फ्लाइट मिस करवाया, फिर ये करवाया, इतना सब करवाया, हाँ, for one person. So like that, Lord wants to arrange situations. Lord arranges situations in our life. We need to practice spiritual life with that faith. That way, that faith is needed in our life. Like Vibhishan, you know that Vibhishan, when he surrendered to Lord Ram, so when he was going back, so there were some Rakshasas with him. So Rakshasas were also, so Vibhishan surrendered and he didn't have to go back, but the Rakshasas has to go back. But how to go back? There is such a big ocean. How they will go back? Ocean is so stormy. While coming, they came with Vibhishan. He has Siddhi. So Vibhishan, he took out one banyan leaf. And on banyan leaf, he wrote Ram. And he tied it. He folded it, tied it, and tied to their waist. Rakshasa, that leader. And he told you all go. So they were going to the sea. The sea was just knee deep. Just knee deep. And as they were going, the sea is just knee deep. They were shocked and surprised. They thought Vibhishan must be a very powerful person. Such a kavach he gave us. Even the Supreme Lord has to construct a bridge to cross. and we are crossing without bridge. Very powerful kavach. So when they reached in middle, they thought, let's have a look. What is the kavach? Like that. And they opened the leaf. And they said, just Ram. And the moment they said, just Ram, Krishna is doing Sanshaya Atma Vinashyati. So these the things, the spiritual things which are told to us, we are not experimented upon. It is a doubtless way, doubtless, fearless way that we'll achieve success. Like that. So we should not live like a kripana. We should not live like a person who has got a treasure but living like a beggar. Like that. We need to have a faith here. This will work. So the faith on spiritual elements, it's a very, very important thing. So how we get that faith? When we hear, when we read, when we chant. Essentially, hearing is one very important thing which gives us faith. You hear from businessmen, you get faith on business, right? You hear from salesmen, you get faith on product. You hear from a person who is having, you hear from politician, you'll get interest in politics. Like that. Similarly, when we hear from devotees, when we read the scriptures, and hearing involves contemplation. Very important. That is why Prabhupada in his contemples also morning, evening classes. Shunvatam Shraddhaya Nityam Granatam Swacheshtitam Kalena Atidirgena Bhagavan Vishite Hridi. Shunvatam Shraddhaya Nityam. We should hear with faith. That's the most important thing. And when we hear with faith, then we will be attentive. We'll put our energy, we'll put our consciousness in that. Because we understand by hearing this, when we hear, it's like the bombs of wisdom. The direction of whole life is going to change by hearing. Like that. Parikshit Maharaj, last 7 days, he just heard it. It's not an ordinary activity. So when we hear and we contemplate, when we think about it, we don't just hear like we hear the lectures in colleges. Nothing goes inside like that. Just strikes the eardrum. Sometimes that also does not because we have other earphones. So we should not hear like that. We should hear, and that is why after hearing, we should think about it. Contemplation, we should try to write. Because contemplation will change the quality of our thoughts. What we are thinking currently, it will change. Like that. For so many lifetimes, wrong thoughts. Wrong thoughts will lead to wrong actions. Wrong actions, wrong thoughts, wrong habits, wrong actions. It will become wrong character, wrong culture. Everything begins with thoughts. So don't just hear little bit, think about it, contemplate, write, discuss with devotees like that. So then it will very much help. Second thing, faith comes by association. When we come together with devotees, there is sincere devotees association. When we read and hear in that. So in that association, we also get faith because association is contagious. So Narad Muni writes in the first canto, 5th chapter, 25th verse. This will come. I can show in this. How it will come. Okay. Okay, you are able to see this verse. उच्छिष्टलेपान् अनुमोदितो द्विजा सकृत्स्म भुञ्जे तदपास्तकिल्बिषा एवं प्रवर्तस्य विशुद्ध चेतसा तद्धर्मेवात्मरुचि प्रजायते. Once only by their permission I took the remnants of their food, and by so doing all my sins were at once eradicated. Thus being engaged, I became purified in the heart, and at once, at that time, the very nature of transcendentalists became attracted to me. So Narad Muni is sharing his life story. When he came in association of devotee, what happens? His heart became purified. And the nature of transcendentalists became attractive. Prabhupada writes in purport, pure devotion is as much infectious, in good sense, as infectious diseases. So what happens in association of devotee, devotional life becomes attractive. The materialist, he will make by his presentation matter attractive. Devotee by his presentation can make devotional life attractive. Devotional life is already attractive, but in association of devotees, it becomes more attractive. So Narad Muni is writing it. Huh? So the Bhakti Vedantis, as above mentioned, were pure devotees, and the boy became infected with their qualities of purity by their association. So by association of devotees, he became purified. Hmm? The transcendental taste at once makes all material things distasteful. Therefore, a pure devotee is not attracted by material activities. So what happens as we are practicing spiritual life? We become attracted to devotees, devotee association. Then two things happen. What happens? One is heart becomes pure. So now we want to do so many wrong things because the impurity is within. Impurity is not outside, it's within. Like that. जैसे कंप्यूटर में वायरस रहता है तो आप कुछ भी टाइप करो कुछ और आता है देखा है आप कुछ टाइप कर रहे हैं आप हरे कृष्णा टाइप करो कुछ और ही आ रहा है वो वायरस है इसी तरह भी अंदर वायरस है तो वायरस के कारण क्या है कि हर चीज को हम एक गलत दृष्टि से देखते हैं and we have so many bad habits. When the heart becomes pure, as it becomes pure, then it becomes attracted to pure things and the impure things become distasteful. उसके प्रति जो टेस्ट है वो चला जाता है. हाँ, we'll not be very much excited about it. We'll not have so much taste about it. We'll find it disgusting. तो पहले जो attractive था वो disgusting हो जाएगा association. This is another important verse, 626. तत्रानुवाहं कृष्ण कथा प्रगायताम् अनुग्रहेणाशनवं मनोहरा ताशब्दयामेनुपदं विशृण्वता प्रिया शवस्यं ममा भवद्रुचि. Oh Vyasdev, in that association and by the mercy of those great Vedantists, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna, and thus I listened attentively. My taste for hearing of the personality of God had increased at every step. So this is another thing which happens. What is the another thing? Our taste for hearing increases in association. At every step, as we discuss, read and hear in association. That why association is very, very important thing. In association, our faith increases. If you have devotee association, your faith and devotional life will increase. If we don't have devotee association, our faith in material life will increase. And third thing is the practice, which increases faith. First is hearing, second is association, third is practice. When we practice spiritual life, not based on feelings, but with regulation. Not based on feelings. जैसे शुरू में दवाई की तरह खाना पड़ता है, शुरू में दवाई की तरह कोई बीमार है ना, तो दवाई को उसको फीलिंग्स पे बेस पे अगर लेगा कोई पेशेंट, हाँ, तो बहुत छोटा बच्चा रहता है तो माँ होती है बोलती है लॉलीपॉप देंगे, ये टॉफी देंगे, हाँ, तो टॉफी के उसमें उसको दवाई खिलाती है. हाँ, अभी लेकिन बच्चा 10 साल का हो गया, 15 साल का हो गया, तभी भी वही बोलेगी क्या, हाँ ये दवाई खाओगे तो टॉफी देंगे, नहीं, तब उसकी जरूरत नहीं है, उसको इंटेलिजेंस आ जाता है. तो शुरू में क्या है, दवाई की तरह खाना पड़ेगा. तो अगर कोई पेशेंट है वो सोचेगा जब मेरे हृदय में वो इच्छा जागृत होगी, दवाई के प्रति रुचि उत्पन्न होगी, रुचि प्रजायते, तब मैं ये दवाई खाऊंगा, हाँ, तो वो कभी ठीक नहीं होगा. That is how we have to understand. We have to practice spiritual life not based on feelings, but with regulation. Stick to regulation, not based on feelings. कोई भी अच्छी चीज आपको करनी है ना, आप देखेंगे पहला स्टेप रेगुलेशन है. जैसे योगा करना है किसी को, कोई गलत चीज छोड़नी है या अच्छी चीज पकड़नी है, दोनों में यही है. किसी को गलत चीज छोड़नी है, वो 10 पैकेट सिगरेट के पीता था, तो उसको रेगुलेशन में आना पड़ेगा, 1 पैकेट पे आना पड़ेगा। हम्म, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है, लोग रेगुलेशन एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते, तो रेगुलेशन एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते तब तक वो चेंज नहीं होता है। जैसे एक व्यक्ति से पूछा, व्हाई डोंट यू गिव अप स्मोकिंग, इट्स सो डेंजरस टू हेल्थ। ही सेड, आई गेव इट अप dozens of times. I have given up smoking dozens of times. It means what? He picked up again. That's why dozens of times. Means he could not give up. Why he could not give up? Because no regulations. हमारे लाइफ में किसी भी चीज में क्वालिटी लाना है, सबसे पहले रेगुलेशन लाना पड़ेगा, रेगुलेशन के बाद क्वालिटी आएगा। अगर रेगुलेशन के पहले हाई जंप मारेंगे तो भी दिक्कत होगा, वो सस्टेन नहीं करेगा। दैट इज वाई फर्स्ट रेगुलेशन, जैसे कोई स्टूडेंट है, when he is regularly studying little but he has some regulation for studies, 2 घंटे क्वालिटी से रोज पढ़ रहा है, he will fare very well. Similarly in our life, what time we get up, what time we sleep, that we should try to strike some kind of regulation, at least some time period. This that time I get up 2 say 2:30, 3 say 3:30, and sleeping also some regulation. If regulation is not there, then feelings overpower. And when feelings overpower, it comes from mind. Mind nature is like and dislike. One of the very prominent thing of mind is it does not allow you to focus on present. So then person lives a very distracted life if he is not regulated. So we need to have a regulation in spiritual life. How many rounds we are chanting, what we are reading, what we are hearing. So first bring regulation. Okay, let me try to do this much. Then the second stage will come. How can I add quality in it? First, regulation. If the regulation will not come, then quality will not come. Wherever we are, grow from wherever we are. So that is why practice is important, not based on feelings, but with regulation. Like that. And are we following regulation or not? That is why there has to be some system of accountability. That is why inventory. Like that. Because if you are not accountable, if you are not keeping inventory, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says 15 days we should check. If there is no inventory, how much I read, how much I heard, we should never come to know only where we are. And that is why we see so many years of life goes by like that. Not even a single bad habit changes and not even single good habit acquired. Sometimes it happens like that, is it not? Years pass by. Not one bad habit we gave up, and not one good habit we acquired. Why? So there has to be some inventory, like that, some inventory. And then when we understand and when whatever is our situation, we can grow from where we are, like that. Regulation is very powerful. Small. Somebody is getting up at 6 o'clock. You can start with 5:45. Little. But then you stick to it and follow it for at least 1 month. Then go to next. One will grow. One will definitely grow. One has to have, instead of having a fully spontaneous life where there's no planning, no direction. So then quality will not come and we will not be able to utilize time. Regularly what we do, it get fixed in mind. So when you have this habit, then it will get fixed in your mind. So that will help you very much in the long run. So this faith will help us. The faith will help us to increase the quality of our life. So ultimately, whatever life we are living, whatever we are trying to do, we are trying to see that how the heart can be satisfied. And the heart can be satisfied when we offer quality time to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. Like in Ramayana, that pastime comes that when Lord Ram goes to the ocean and he's praying to the ocean, please give me the way. 2 days, Lord Ram is fasting. Lord Ram doesn't have to pray. He can order. Everything belongs to him. But still, as I etiquette, he did it. Ocean did not respond. Then Lord Ram took out the arrow. Then ocean came. See, everything belongs to Krishna. when we offer to Krishna with love, the quality of our life increases, the satisfaction of the heart increases. Otherwise, as Kal, Krishna comes and anyway snatches away everything. Like that. But there's a great difference between the two. So Ocean was busy in managing many things. He did not pay attention to Ram. Like that. So Lord Ram has to take out arrow. Similarly, we may get sometime busy with many things, and when we don't have time for Krishna, like that. Without giving time to Krishna, the quality cannot come like that. So living person means he has Krishna in his life, like that. So that's what we can try. Thank you very much, all of you, for your patient listening. So it is 1:30. Somebody has some comments, questions? Yeah, it's over. Okay, if devotee doesn't have question, maybe we can revise. Some devotees can share some 4 or 5 points.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Abhishek Prabhu. Yes, ma'am.
So, Guruji, you said this. क्वेश्चन तो नहीं, मतलब वो मैं शेयर कर रहा हूँ, मतलब जो आपने
Yes.
बताया that leading a quality life is very very important, and in this Kali Yuga we cannot have a material life as very much qualitatively, and spiritual life has to be of quality, because when spiritual life is of quality, then there is some meaning to the life. So you said this very nicely that if we want to have a quality life, we need to have faith on Krishna. Because if faith will not be there, then we'll be thinking पता नहीं material life चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा, या spiritual life में ज़्यादा होगा कि नहीं होगा. So this association of devotees and sadhana, these all things are very very important, so that we have this faith that Krishna is taking care of everything, then we can have a quality life.
Yes.
Inventory and accountability is very very important, as you said.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. So this is a very important point. This is one of the foundational reason you will find that to live a quality life, we need some faith. Anyone thinks I can make 100% security in material life, and after that I will start practicing spiritual life, that day will not come. In Brahma's day, it will not come. Like that. Actually, all the previous ages you will see, if you see Satyug, Dwapar, Treta, materially you will find less hospital, less facilities, everything less. Faith was more. Like that. And the manifestation of that faith is in our practical life is at least we don't compromise in giving time for chanting, reading, and hearing. At least we have that. That is a manifestation of faith in our life. Like that. That we give time and quality time to these things. At least that much we can do.
Guruji,
Yes.
इसमें एक question था मेरा.
Yes.
There are so many
He's
like
asking one. Yes. Yeah.
there are so many do's for leading a quality life, that we have to read, hear, take the association of devotees. We have to give time. Are there some don'ts, like if we are trying to lead a quality life, we should refrain from some things which can severely affect our quality life?
Yes. So do's, we are aware. as we may hear many times, reading, hearing, chanting, association, serving. Actually, who is host, please mute the person who's not muted. Huh? Someone should take care. So in the don'ts, don'ts are also in one way very direct. One thing is having a keeping very rosy expectation from material life, because thought process matters a lot. Someone thinks that okay, spiritual life means no problem, no issues will happen, nothing will happen, or by advancing material life I can counteract all the issues, like that. So one should be theoretically clear that this kind of expectation from material world that it will provide us lot of happiness and pleasure, it is a block in spiritual life, because it cannot happen. Another thing is excessive zone in material life, that also becomes a block. Like you find people take so much loan, one loan, then another loan, then third loan. And now because they have taken loan, now they cannot give a job. Such kind of things. It's like loan has become a status symbol in today's age. It has become a kind of status symbol. So they don't want to live a simple life like that. And they unnecessarily complicate their life. They're living life in stress. They become like slaves for the bosses. And how? Because for their own mistakes. Like that. One car, another car, one home, another home. Like that. One property, and they have little more time, little more money, they take another property. Like that. So we should understand that for a material life, planning is required, but intelligent planning. The moment we go excessive in material zone, like that, either excessive in material association, excessive in material accumulation, like that, or excessive in material planning. So definitely it will affect very much our faith in spiritual life. So that should be avoided. So this is my thought. Anybody else also wants to add in this? Anybody else also wants to add in this? Anybody else? Yeah, Rishabh Prabhu.
Many times when we go for like this in spiritual life also, many times, like I remember this Kumariya project was studying in class. Many times when we go for spiritual life, we really I should not continue if that is the instant thing we want. So that also many times affect the regular feeling.
Yes, so Rishabh Prabhu has made a very important point that sometime when we do spiritual life and we don't get taste like that immediately, we don't get much taste in it. So then we feel like dropping it. Because if taste is there, then we feel that we can do it. But if the taste is not coming, we feel that better to drop it. Like that. That affects regulation. Yeah, that's very true. That is why many times I have heard many people asking these questions to Radhanath Maharaj. Like that. So Maharaj kept telling, in fact, you all must have also heard about chanting and all. Maharaj said, taste or no taste? Like that. Because unless we strike regulation, generally the steady taste cannot come, the steady taste, unless we strike regulation. Regulation is needed to have a steady taste eventually. Like that. Yes.
प्रभु जी एक
Yes.
क्वेश्चन है
Yes, Parmeshwar Chitru.
प्रभु जी जैसे बहुत बैकग्राउंड आ रहा है काफी नॉइस
Now you can speak.
जो डिवोटीज से स्टडी कर रहे हैं या जॉब कर रहे हैं टेम्पल में नहीं रह रहे हैं तो उनके लिए रिक्रिएशन का क्या ऑप्शंस हैं जो डिवोशनल लाइफ में रिक्रिएशन कर सकते हैं
Good question.
क्योंकि उसके अलावा कुछ रिक्रिएशनल एक्टिविटी होती है तो वो मटेरियल हो जाती है। तो वो जो साधना करते हैं हम, हियरिंग रीडिंग,
Hmm.
तो उसके उसके सर्कल में नहीं आती है वो, उस सर्कल के
Okay,
अंदर।
so this is good question. So its question is like, we do spiritual activity, but currently we may not have so much taste in it, so we may follow some regulation. So doing reading, hearing, chanting, but after that also time remains. And in that time, there should be some recreation. And recreation should be in the domain of Krishna consciousness, like that. Ideal, in one way, actually, in the Vedic times, you find these are considered as recreation only, the spiritual activities, like hearing about the Lord, hearing the katha of the Lord, hearing from the great souls. This is actually a recreation in one way, that way. So, ideal to, we should come to that stage at least, that when we have free time, then we are able to read, hear, or chant, and we don't waste time. This is a basic stage we should look forward for, because we do not have so much time in Kali Yuga. Generally, we find there is a job, and after the job, we don't have much time. We sleep, we have job, very less time we have. In fact, it is a very good habit if suppose in job in between we get half an hour free. So we can chant, or we can read in that. If you are able to do this, this is first best option. If you are able to do this, and it will become your habit, and it's the best recreation. You read here or here, or second best option is, if you find this becoming difficult, have devotional targets, like 108 important verses of Bhagavad Gita, like that. So you get in between 10 minutes free. So carry that book, or 15 minutes free. So start reciting the shloka, because they're words of Krishna. It will purify your tongue, like that. So that is one thing. Have the quotes of spiritual masters, like that. So you can read the quotes of spiritual masters. That is, so like that, some kind of things. Now somebody, you, ideally chanting is very good thing if we have some taste for chanting. Ideally, when we get small breaks, it is good to chant. And even after that also, the kirtans. If you love kirtans, you can hear kirtans, like that. Better to connect to audio. किसका अनम्यूट, किसका ये म्यूट नहीं है? हाँ, ये देखो, कोई तो ये एक है माता जी, शिवानी माता जी. I don't know who is she. Getting unmute again and again. So the point is, in the kirtans, good to have. It's good if we hear from pure souls. And so I'm not telling anyone is not pure, but we should know the differences, and better to connect to audio. You are having free time, you want to listen to, you want to spend some time, just hear kirtans, no problem. And doing kirtans is also very good recreation. Doing kirtans for the Lord, if we have some time, we can sing some Vaishnav song. We can have some targets of remembering some Vaishnav songs, that kind of thing. So these are first, second, third level. And the fourth level, and you may go, you may see some devotional dramas, like that. The Chapati may have something, Delhi may have, not very much recommended, but in case you have so much time, that you are feeling it needs to be filled up. Huh? And Rishabh Prabhu is suggesting, if you have more time, you can come to Gorakhpur. Devotees are eagerly waiting for your association. Like that. This is also a sign of lack of association, that such kind of questions are arising in your mind. Like that, because so less time is there in Kali Yuga, but you have a feeling there's not many time. So, anyways, you can try some of these things. Yes, Shubham Prabhu. Shubham Prabhu, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
So, Prabhuji, one thing I want to share from this lecture, like you have told that if someone do not have any faith, then he should see the life of successful people who have attained the perfection in their life. So you have gave the example of Narad Muni, how he has served the devotees and he has got the taste for hearing the Krishna Katha, and he has got the taste for them. And also you mentioned like it is like taste is like a contagious disease. Once you associate with the devotees, it will you will get all the mercy of that association.
Yes. Yeah. So that is why it is important to reflect material life. We should look down so that satisfaction we will be content. Spiritual life we should look up like that, so that we can grow in spiritual life like that. Important point is Nitmuk Bandhu Prabhu wants to speak something.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please, my humble obeisances.
Humble obeisances. Yes, Prabhu.
प्रभु जी, जो आपने एक पॉइंट शेयर किया था वो यूथ का वर्किंग का और ओल्ड एज वाला, वो बहुत रेलेवेंट लगा क्योंकि हेल्थ वेल्थ और टाइम से रिलेटेड। जनरली जब यूथ में रहते हैं तो हेल्थ अच्छी रहती है लेकिन टाइम कम रहता है क्योंकि स्टडीज हैं, करियर प्लान करना रहता है, और वर्किंग लाइफ में आके फिर वेल्थ थोड़ा आ जाती है लेकिन फिर टाइम का इश्यू हो जाता है। और मतलब देखा जाए तो पूरी लाइफ मतलब इसी तरह मिसमैनेजमेंट में चली जाती है कि ये ऐसे मैनेज नहीं हो रहा, वैसे नहीं हो रहा। तो लेकिन स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ के लिए ऐसे अलग से प्लान नहीं कर सकते, उसको मतलब हमेशा हर स्टेज में कंटिन्यूअस करते रहना पड़ेगा। एक परफेक्ट टाइम कभी नहीं आएगा कि जब हम स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ अच्छे से कर पाएंगे, मतलब कि ये सोच के कि अब मटेरियल लाइफ में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, अब केवल स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ ही करना है, ऐसा फेज आना मतलब लगभग इम्पॉसिबल ही है। इसलिए जैसे भी फेज में स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ करते रहना चाहिए कंटिन्यूअसली। ये पॉइंट अच्छा लगा।
Thank you. Yes, it's important point. We cannot delay spiritual life. Whatever stage we are, we have to plan for it. And it is the experience of the devotees, right? Whoever has practiced spiritual life, it is their experience that whoever delays it, thinking that the next stage I'll be able to do, like that, it's a very wrong decision. Yeah. For them, it becomes difficult to practice later. It becomes so difficult to practice whatever they were practicing previously. Like that. But if they continue to practice, Krishna gives them intelligence, how to utilize time and how to plan for other things. Like that. So, okay, one last, somebody wants to share.
एक पॉइंट प्रभु जी मैं शेयर करना चाहता हूँ।
Yes, Parmeshwar Achyut Prabhu. Yes.
प्रभु जी आपने जो बताया था परीक्षित महाराज is ruling entire world, so his motive is to please Krishna by doing his duties. तो आपने अपने बताया कि तो मतलब सब कुछ पॉसिबल नहीं है। ऐसे सीसीटीवी कैमरा आजकल लोग लगाते हैं, उसमें भी सब कुछ मॉनिटर नहीं कर सकते। तो भगवान है वो स्वयं मेक श्योर करते हैं कि सब कुछ परफेक्ट चले परीक्षित महाराज के रूलिंग में। तो भगवान खुद उसमें हेल्प कर रहे हैं उनका, क्योंकि उन्हीं को प्लीज करने के लिए वो अपना राज्य कर रहे हैं। तो ऐसा अगर हम भी ऐसी भाव रहेंगे तो भगवान भी उसमें हस्तक्षेप करेंगे।
Good. Yeah. This life becomes very easy when we try to live for Krishna's mission and when we try to please the Lord. Relatively. Why? Because we are trying to please the Lord. Krishna takes a lot of anxiety. Like that. So if we try to please the Lord, things become very easy. Thank you very much, all of you, for your patient listening and attention. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Grantha Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Jai.